Well, we're still on that, and WION exclusively spoke to the European Union ambassador to the United Nations. Olof Skoog spoke about the global COVID-19 vaccine drive launched by a joint effort of the international bodies. Listen in.
One important area of focus was global access to the COVID-19 vaccine. While EU member states committed to donating at least 100 million COVID vaccine doses to countries in need, do you think it's safe to assume that major challenges still remain?
We're not out of this, far from it, globally, until we are protecting everyone everywhere. And the vaccines is the best remedy to cope with it quickly. I think what the EU has been doing is, first, it's important to understand that Europe was really at the epicenter of this pandemic in the beginning, but not just in the beginning. You remember Italy, Spain, that's really, really hard hit. But also then in second and subsequent waves, it's really hit hard. So, of course, there's been a lot of pressure for the EU to deliver vaccines as soon as they were available, which is also part contribution by the EU, because taxpayers' money have been used to support the research on this, but then to supply our population with those vaccines. And I can just speak from my personal experience. It wasn't all that easy to explain to my father-in-law back in my native Sweden, who is 80 years old, that he had to wait patiently in line because the EU was also exporting vaccines to the rest of the world, because we understand that this has to be done, in parallel throughout, or else we will be back to maybe square one if this vaccine, the COVID virus continues to mutate. So I think the EU has been trying to do what we can to supply the world, to keep exports open. We've exported as much as we have provided to our own population. And we've invested a lot, I think 3 billion euros, something like that, into the COVAX facility. We are talking to some of the companies that produce vaccines in Europe to also donate through this COVAX facility. And hopefully, that will add to India's concerns and interests hopefully very quickly. But of course, we know that the Indian population is massive. The numbers are just staggering, and it's difficult to cover that quickly. But it isn't, vaccines are important, but it isn't just that. It's also about diagnostics, hospital beds, ventilators and whatnot. So that's also part of what the European Union is doing, also bilaterally, directly with India and some of the countries that neighbor India, who are also struggling right now.
Mr. Ambassador, thank you so much for joining us on WION World is One. Do come back.
Thank you very much.